It is 5 o'clock in the morning. It's dark in here. I just turned the light off. And after I turned the light off, I remembered that I wanted to say something. Let's check the vlog. I was up around 1:30 today. It's the 4th. Yesterday was a 2-dayer. I say that so that I remember that when I'm doing the editing sometime in the future. I'm still running on my 2-hour charge here, and it's doing me pretty good. In fact, those guys are done. When it stopped flashing, it's done. So I could change it and get a fresh pack, but let's see how long this 2-hour charge lasts for. Maybe I'm letting them charge, I let them charge until it's done. Maybe maybe I don't need to let them charge quite so long, huh? Maybe I'm even overcharging them. Is that possible? Can you overcharge batteries? So that... No, it doesn't really make... I'm not entirely sure. I'm storing the electricity, which is why it said I'm going to store it. It's probably going to flow through an ion. It's going to store in a chemical bond, right? Okay, no, it wouldn't. The only thing I can think of is maybe if I get too much of the chemical that's storing it, it might start leaking out the other side. But then where does it go? Well, it wouldn't have to really go anywhere, really, would it? It would just have to like flow away. I'm going to think of that as obscure, but let's see how long this charge lasts for. Let's see. I had my smoothie, so we started the day already. And I'm just going to go over into there and sit in my bed and copy data out of a Word file and onto my journal. I got lots of sleep last night. I went to sleep around 4, and I was up around 1:30, so that's what, 6, 7. I'm very refreshed. I'm not really sick any longer. My nose is a little stuffy still, but I mean, it's like I'm not sore. My throat's okay. I got my smoothie down without feeling it really even. So, I think all is well, and this is it's a good day to start this. I really want to, I don't want to do this forever, right? I'm having nightmares of the months that I spent archiving and thinking, God, no. It's the 4th today. My appointment's on the 18th. I'm not going to any concerts between now and then either. I'm thinking about maybe seeing Cold Cave on the 18th, but it's kind of like iffy. There's some shows at the beginning of February. Cloud Nothing, Delicate Steve, for sure, and maybe Lemuria in between. And it's like 3 days in a row, right? I think there's some stuff at the end of February too, right? So, I saved money this month. If I don't spend any more money this month, I could actually have a huge February regarding shows. So I think I'm kind of more planning around that. We'll see what the weather. I mean, if we get like a beautiful day on the 18th, right? Then I'm gonna think about it. But if it's a cold, yucky day, then it's probably no. February, I would go see Delicate Steve or Cloud Nothings. I would go see either of them in the blizzard. So that's I don't think we're gonna get. I mean, we're gonna get a cold snap this week. I'm gonna guess that might be. We might get a week sometime in February. Hopefully, I can avoid it. But I don't. I actually don't get the impression that the rest of the winter is gonna be so cold. I mean, it'll be coolish. But I'm thinking about like hovering around 0, which is like barely winter, from the perspective of a hardened Canadian. Barely winter at all. Anyways, so I want to get this done sooner than later. Let's hope that I do. And because when I get this done, I'm back to the ultra reality for a few days. So let's try to push this through as fast as I can. And let's go. It is noon, and I am making some progress. But I've been slowed down a little bit this morning. I reinstalled the machine. The one in here for the TV. It's a quick process, just because I was getting funny caching or something. I don't know. Hard to really. I didn't feel like troubleshooting it. I didn't want to troubleshoot it, so I just reinstalled it, and I'm gonna try it with just the HTML5. I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that I just simply do not have the resources on this machine to run even with this old version of Firefox. This is Firefox 24, which was from like 2012 or something. No, I think it's a bit newer than that, but it's a couple of years old anyways. And even Firefox 24 on this machine with Flash, it's like Flash 13. That combination is too much for the machine to handle. So, I mean, it's not like anything's changed, right? I should be able to find a way to get the thing to run. I mean, it ran before. There's not... See, this is something that the technology industry does, right? What YouTube is trying to do is YouTube is trying to push the hardware market. Essentially what YouTube wants me to do, YouTube wants me to buy new hardware. And I don't want to buy new hardware. At all. Let me be clear, I'm not going to buy new hardware. So, I mean, like, not for this. I don't... Maybe ask this question. What is it worth to me to have this TV running? 0 cents. Okay, like how much would I spend? 0 cents. That's how much I would spend to upgrade this machine, or to upgrade the situation in here, right? The absolute worst case scenario is that I'll take my backup laptop and I'll plug it in here, right? But if I do that, I'm gonna lose a TV, because I mean the ultimate problem here is that I don't have a TV. I don't have the cords. I'd have to get like an HDMI to S video cable, which I don't know how much those would cost, but I mean that's what I would have to do to have the system set up, and like a digital out to and a digital analog audio out, right? It would be what I would end up doing is I would end up degrading the quality. Like I would probably get worse quality in the end because I'd have to convert it so many times. It would be a very stupid way to set this up, which is why I went back to the old PC, right? But nonetheless, at the end of the day, I would rather do that. I'm still running on my 2-hour charge. I'm coming on like 20 minutes here, so it's like... Anyways, so that's not something that I'm going to do. But if I eventually come to the conclusion that this machine cannot run that version of Firefox that I need to run HTML5 to get the thing to even load, I've taken Flash right out, right? So Flash was an extraneous layer. My biggest concern with HTML5 is that it's choppy, that the controls don't work. It seems okay right now, but I mean, I haven't really tested it, right? I'm going to test it, and if at the end of the day it's fine, right? But if it doesn't work right, then what I'll need to do is, okay, I took Flash out. That's the buggiest, most memory-intensive thing there. The next step will be, okay, I'm going to have to replace Firefox with a lower resource a lower resource browser that can run HTML5, and I'm sure that there's options. Many years ago now, when I first bought my recording PC, what is now my dedicated recording PC, I installed a version of Debian on here. And I didn't end up sticking with it because I didn't, in the end, find that I was getting. I ended up putting my stripped down version of XP on there instead because I didn't actually find that I was getting a performance increase from Linux. That was the point, right? It's old hardware. That's what a lot of Linux is designed for. I mean, I had Debian on there, but I mean, I experimented with a whole bunch of stuff. One of the things I put like Puppy Linux, just like there's a whole range of. I've been watching too many of those stupid briefings. There's a whole category of Linux distributions that are designed for old hardware, right? Very low resources, and that's the category that this machine is in. If I can't find, I mean, what I found was that I was going to get better performance out of my stripped down XP than I was out of even the most stripped down Linux, right? But that'll be the next step, right? So right now, I guess I'm just mentally categorizing this. I'm hoping this works, right? This is really about as far down as I can take Firefox. If that doesn't work, then I guess I'll have to conclude that Firefox has become too bloated to run on this machine, which, like I say, it's not some accident, right? Like I say it in those terms as though I'm like insulting Firefox or trying to provide an incentive. No, they do this because they want you to buy newer hardware. They drive the hardware market. They work in collusion, right? We don't live in we do live in the closest thing to a free market that you can have, but free markets are impossible. They're a utopian extraction. In reality, when you try to design a free market system, what you create is a crony system, and you have companies that collude with each other, right? So the software companies make their software more and more wasteful in order to force people to buy hardware, and then they get a cut at the end of the day. If not explicitly, in the fact that when you buy your new hardware, you buy new software with it, right? When you buy a new computer, you buy a copy of Windows with it. So, if that's the reality of it, then so be it. I will move beyond Firefox. Chrome's issues are with RAM. I'm not even gonna think about Chrome. I'm gonna be looking at some kind of a fork, right? I haven't looked into this in a while. I'm not sure what the options are, but I'm going to be looking at a stripped down HTML5 ready Gecko. Maybe I'll use Opera. Like whatever it is, I'm just looking for the most stripped down thing I can. In fact, I think I have Opera on here, and Opera is always ahead of the curve. Maybe the version of Opera from 2009 or whatever it was will run HTML5. I don't know. Opera. I'm not sure I'll forgive myself if I become an Opera user. I won't be able to look at myself in the mirror. I don't look at myself in the mirror anyways. But speaking of which, no FaceTime for a while. Yeah, so that's something I've been doing this morning, and we'll have to see how that works out. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, then we'll have to say goodbye to Firefox on this machine. We'll find out. God damn it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's snowing. And I'm not so happy about it. Can you see it? It's still flurries. Well, it's January in Canada. It happens. I think it's only a couple of degrees below zero. Not even that cold. Were those flashing lights back there? Fire or what? Huh. See those flashing lights back there? Behind the tree? Snow falling from the sky. I'm going to send this to the optometrists Association of North America, and There's a person there. Here. My vlog. My vlog, not your vlog. Yeah, I'm going to send it to the Optometrists Association of North America, and it'll be used to diagnose ability to see detail. So we got flashing lights in the back. I think those are hard to miss, but the snow. In fact, it's very light. I can't see any right now. So if I can't see it, then no, there's a little up there. Maybe you see it. See it in the tree. I'm not sure if I should let me focus on or not. Focus is off, I believe now. Is that right? I'm not sure. Oh, there's my battery light finally. Took you long enough. Anyways, back to what I'm doing. I'm near the end of March 2014. So there's a bit of a slowdown in April, but then it picks up hugely in May. So we'll see.